My name's Anthony Reynolds, and I run the Anthony Reynolds Gallery, which was founded in 1985 in London. Recently, we decided we would try and challenge the existing model of the gallery as being somewhere with a fixed location, with a fixed roster of artists and a circulating program of shows. And we decided that we were going to try the idea of circulating ourselves as a nomadic gallery, working internationally, choosing galleries and colleagues to work with internationally, where the decision to choose an artist for a show which was based on their program as well as our program, and their space as well as any space that we might have ourselves. We decided, since Emilio invited us to take part in the program as a kind of residential program of a gallery occupying the space, the artist we've chosen, which is Peter Gallo, who is a painter in his 50s from North Vermont in USA, we believe that he is dealing with very profound and very contemporary subjects, theoretical, social, political, personal subjects, which are very much in common with much of what this gallery is doing anyway.
My dissertation, which I wrote about medicalization and biopolitics, and that beautiful image that opens Michel Foucault's History of Madness in the Age of Reason, where he talks about the stultifera navis and the ship of fools, cinematic, operatic way of working, of openings, incredible critique, this historiography of madness in civilization. It just has stuck with me. I was working in a group home in Waterbury, Vermont, which is very close to the old hospital. There was a rec room, and this is 25 years ago. I used to do an art workshop there, and on the walls were these prints of ships. They were just in frames. So what I did is I took a bunch of them down and I made photocopies of them. And I've been using those as the template for the ships in my paintings. And it's almost now that I've drawn it and painted it so much that it's inscribed into my way of drawing. I'm in a day treatment center working with people who were coming in to a clinic where I was working, and kids would make art with crushed eggshells, and make pictures with them. I thought, boy, that's a beautiful kind of the immediacy, the materiality of it. So, it's almost, like sort of like magic or something. I'm throwing these eggshells onto it. And stretches of my painting career where I just devoted myself to painting monochromes. I'm very much interested in more formal monochromatic painters like a Robert Ryman. So especially these two, kind of come out of that kind of thing. And this one, the small pink bed that I've titled Small Pink Bed, is on a stretcher that I actually built when I was in high school. I took a painting class. And I've had that stretcher, and I've been stretching canvases on it for years and years and years. I love vernacular art, People make pictures all the time. I was part of this group of artists started by this amazing genius named Don Sinceri. He was part of this post-formalist group of artists, and he started this workshop in nursing homes. And he noticed that a lot of the residents of the nursing home enjoyed drawing, so he set up an atelier. I started working with him in 1990, and that's when I began working at or around the Vermont State Hospital in one of the residency programs there. But this idea of using things like this for, like toothpicks, and it's something you see in vernacular art. And this piece of wood has been sitting around in my studio for a long time, and I've just been looking at it, and these two scraps of Luan wood that were part of another sculpture, another assemblage. And I had written these inscriptions in Phobos. I was thinking of doing something with the theme, but then I just saw this horse. I saw this horse's face, and I saw the weeping horse. This was painted during the first Bush administration. This was a piece of paneling that was in our apartment. It was in the bathroom of our apartment. There was this old vinyl, but I took it off and thought of myself making a history painting, right? The Gulf of Tonkin incident. The kind of weapons of mass destruction rationalization that was used to propel American intervention or involvement in the Vietnam War, right? And it was a manufactured crisis. It was another one of those manufacturing crises. This piece actually began as this particular painting up here. Sources are very important to me. My reading is always a source of paintings. And I was reading the French writer Peter Gallo. So I found the original text and I began reading him. I picked up a couple of years ago a copy of more recent memoir. His life has been very difficult, but he's endured, and now he performs and continues to write. But he published a small memoir called Coma, which was an account of his recovery from crisis experience. I found it a beautiful book. So I thought, well, I'm going to paint a book cover. I have painted book covers. And I did, and I thought, no, this is good. And I had this piece of jute linen that I had stretched and put these sort of sutures in. There were some irregularities, and then I just, again, it was just almost by coincidence, I had set this on top of this and placed it in sort of as a, hold it there, and I looked and I thought, there it is, this is it, I'm going to do this. And I used threads that I had dyed, knotted together, and with this old frame I just sort of took the remnant and sewed it on there. So the process is very, very simple. So anyway, I'm always fascinated in the way Beuys uses all of these different, self-presentation, he uses the media, he uses photography. He's always quoting other artists. He's incorporating into his own corpus the works of other artists, Joyce, Glutz, all of these, German idealist philosophy. He's always, struggling and working with that. So that interests me entirely. And of course, the materiality and the ephemerality of what he does. This stool here is a stool that's been in my studio for 20 years, and I had written the word "Sieg dein Wund," show your wound, which was the title of one of his works. This canvas I had sewn together with two remnants, beautiful light Belgian linens that I love, and I set it on top of the stool, and I said, this is it, and the title of it is "The Sky," incorporating others. I mean, that's how we are. We're made up of all of the others.